The invitation and the mask. The first time Ethan walked into the cafe, Sophia didn't notice his tailored suit or the Rolex glinting under his sleeve. She noticed how he thanked the barista by name, how he wiped a coffee stain off the counter absent-mindedly, like it was his own home. When he sat across from her, accidentally knocking over her pile of books, his laugh was warm, not embarrassed. "Guess I owe you a new bookmark," he said, plucking a soaked copy of The Night Circus from the table 6 months later. Their love was a tapestry of quiet moments, his fingers tracing her spine as she read aloud. Shared bites of tiramisu at the hole-in-the-wall Italian place. The way he kissed her knuckles when she fretted over her struggling bookstore. "It's perfect," he'd murmur, "just like you." So when Ethan hesitated over his espresso, his thumb rubbing circles on her wrist, she knew something was wrong. "Olivia's getting married," he said finally. "It's a big deal. Black tie, old money crowd. My family can be intense." She bit her lip. She knew the Crawfords. Their name was etched on museum wings, their parties whispered about. In tabloids. "You don't have to go," he added quickly. "I want to," she lied. Not about wanting to be with him, but about facing the wolves in their gilded cage. Eleanor Crawford's casual lunch was at a restaurant Sophia had been visiting since childhood. The Mater D recognized her, eyes widening, but she shook her head subtly. Eleanor didn't notice, too busy listing the pedigree of the silverware. "So," Eleanor said, slicing into her duck confit, "Ethan tells me you run a bookshop." The pause was deliberate. "I love stories," Sophia said, swirling her wine. "How they make people feel less alone." Eleanor's smile was razor-thin, adorable. "And your family?" "Gone." Sophia's chest ached not from the lie, but from the memory of her parents' car wreck. The hollow silence of a mansion too big for a 17-year-old. Eleanor slid an envelope across the table. $100,000. "Leave my son." Sophia almost laughed. She'd donated triple that last week. Instead, she tore the check slowly. "Your son is worth more than you'll ever understand." Eleanor's eyes turned to ice. "We'll see." That night, Ethan pressed her against her apartment door, his breath hot on her neck. "I'm sorry," he growled, fingers tangled in her hair. "I told her she'd never disrespect you again." Sophia kissed him, pouring every secret into it. Soon, she promised herself. He'll know soon. The morning of Olivia's wedding, Sophia stood in front of her closet, staring at the row of simple dresses she had carefully curated for her life as a bookstore owner. Hidden in the back, wrapped in garment bags, were couture gowns, leftovers from a past she had tried to forget. She reached for the pale blue dress she had bought at a thrift store, the fabric soft from wear. It was modest, it's elegant, in an understated way perfect for the woman Ethan thought she was. Ethan arrived in a sleek black tuxedo, his dark hair perfectly tousled, his smile warm as he took her in. "Look beautiful," he murmured, pressing a kiss to her temple. "Ready for this?" She squeezed his hand. "As I'll ever be." The venue was the Grand Meridian, a hotel so luxurious even the doormen wore tailored suits. As they stepped inside, Sophia's chest tightened. She had been here before years ago, at a charity gala where her parents had been the guests of honor. The crystal chandeliers, the marble floors, the hushed whispers of the elite was all achingly familiar. Ethan guided her through the crowd, his hand firm on the small of her back. The guests were exactly what she expected: women in designer gowns that cost more than her bookstore's monthly rent. Men with Rolexes and practiced smiles. She caught snippets of conversation. "Is that Ethan's new girl? I heard. She works in some dingy little shop. How embarrassing for the Crawfords." Olivia stood near the altar, radiant in a lace gown that hugged her slender frame. Her smile faltered when she saw Sophia. "Ethan," she cooed, air-kissing her brother's cheek, before turning cold eyes on Sophia. "And you must be the famous bookstore girl." Sophia forced a smile. "Congratulations, Olivia. You look stunning." Olivia's gaze flickered over Sophia's dress, her lips curling. How quaint. Ethan stiffened beside her. But before he could speak, the ceremony began. The moment everything changed, the string quartet played as Olivia glided down the aisle, her father beaming beside her. The groom Daniel stood at the altar, tall and broad-shouldered, his expression unreadable. Then, halfway through Olivia's vows, Daniel's gaze drifted past the guests, past the flowers, straight to Sophia. His breath hitched. His hands, which had been steady, began to shake. Olivia noticed. "Daniel," she whispered, but he wasn't listening. Sophia's stomach dropped. No, 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 no. Daniel stepped away from Olivia. The crowd gasped. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice rough. "There's someone here I need to speak to." Then in front of 300 stunned guests, he walked straight to Sophia. Ethan's grip on her hand tightened. "What the hell?" Daniel stopped in front of her, his eyes glassy. "Ma'am," he whispered, "I can't believe you're here." To the shock of everyone in the room, he knelt before her. The truth unravels, the room erupted in murmurs. Olivia let out a choked sound. Ethan turned to Sophia, his expression a mix of confusion and disbelief. Sophia's pulse roared in her ears. "Daniel, you have me confused with someone else?" "No," he said, voice breaking. 18 years ago, you saved my life." The air left her lungs, she remembered. She remembered the scrawny teenager from the South Side, the one who had written a desperate letter to the Lockwood Foundation, begging for help. She remembered reading his file, his father gone, his mother working 3 jobs, his grades slipping because he was too hungry to focus. She remembered approving his scholarship personally under a fake name, because she didn't want recognition. She remembered the phone call. "Thank you," he had sobbed. "I won't let you down." And now, here he was, a successful man on his wedding day, kneeling before her like she was royalty. "You're Sophia Lockwood," Daniel said, loud enough for the entire room to hear. The silence was deafening, then dash chaos. Olivia shrieked. Ethan's grip on her hand went slack. Eleanor Crawford's face drained of color, and Sophia realized her carefully constructed lie was over. The wedding guests erupted into frenzied whispers. Sophia Lockwood, the Lockwood heiress. But she's supposed to be. Oh my God. Eleanor just offered her money to leave. Ethan's hand slipped from Sophia's. His voice was barely audible. "Over the noise, you're her." Olivia stormed forward, her veil askew, mascara smudging under her furious tears. "Daniel, what the hell is this?" Daniel rose, his eyes still locked on Sophia. "Olivia, this woman, she's the reason I'm standing here today. She paid for my education, I don't care," Olivia shrieked. "This is my wedding. Mine." Sophia's chest ached. She reached for Ethan, but he stepped back. His jaw clenched. "You lied to me." The words cut deeper than Eleanor's sneers, deeper than Olivia's rage. "Not lied," Sophia whispered. "I just didn't tell you everything." Eleanor, now pale, clutched her pearls. "Sophia, darling, if we'd known, you'd have what?" Sophia snapped, her patience fraying. "Treated me like a person instead of a gold digger." The crowd gasped. Daniel touched Olivia's arm. "Baby, I'm sorry, but I had to thank her." Olivia wrenched away. "Get out," the command was. Aimed at Sophia. Ethan finally spoke, his voice rough. "We're leaving." He didn't look at her as he guided her through the crowd, past the stunned faces. The flashing phones, because of course someone was filming. The whispers followed them like a curse. "She's a billionaire. All this time, pretending to be poor. Do you think Ethan knew?" The car ride was silent. Ethan's knuckles were white on the steering wheel. Sophia stared out the window, the weight of her deception crushing her. The park bench confession. He stopped at a deserted park. The kind they often walked through at night, stealing kisses under lamplight. Now, the space between them felt like an ocean. "Talk," Ethan said. Sophia swallowed. "After my parents died, I realized how empty money was. People only wanted me for my name, my connections. So I left. I became someone else. And me." His voice cracked. "Was I just part of the act?" "No." She grabbed his hands. "With you, for the first time, I was seen. Yes, Not as an heiress, not as a paycheck. Just me. Ethan exhaled sharply. You didn't trust me. I was scared. Beat. Then softly, do you love me? Sophia's eyes burned, more than anything. He cupped her face, his thumb brushing her cheek. Then no more secrets, she nodded, leaning into his touch. A phone buzzed. Leonor's name flashed on the screen. Ethan silenced it. Meanwhile, the aftermath back at the wedding, Olivia locked. Herself in the bridal suite, sobbing, Daniel sat outside the door, begging forgiveness. Eleanor frantically Googled Lockwood family net worth. The next morning, Sophia's phone exploded. Missed calls, 42 texts, 108. Trending on Twitter, hashtag fake bookstore girl, hashtag billionaire in disguise, a paparazzi. Drone hovered outside her apartment window. Ethan, shirtless and scowling, yanked the curtains shut. We need to get out of the city. Sophia pressed her forehead against his bare shoulder, breathing in his scent coffee, cedar, and the faintest trace of last night's panic. Where? Somewhere no one will find us. The safe house. Ethan drove them to a secluded lakeside cabin owned by his college friend. No Wi-Fi, no neighbors, just the sound of water lapping against the dock. Sophia sat on the porch, wrapped in Ethan's flannel, watching the sunrise. I ruined Olivia's wedding. Ethan handed her a steaming mug. Daniel ruined Olivia's wedding. You just happened to be there. She snorted. Semantics. He sat beside her, his knee brushing hers. What now? The $1,000,000 question, rather the $1,000,000,000 one. The Crawford family meltdown, back in Chicago. Eleanor held a press conference, tearfully declaring she'd always admired. Sophia's quiet philanthropy lie. Olivia gave an exclusive interview to Vanity Fair, claiming she'd suspected Sophia's secret all along. Bigger lie. Daniel showed up at Sophia's empty bookstore with a handwritten apology letter and a plea, help me fix this. The intimate reckoning night fell at the cabin. Sophia and Ethan lay tangled in bedsheets, the moonlight painting silver stripes across their skin. Ethan traced the curve of her hip. You could disappear again. Change your name, start fresh. Turned to face him. Would you come with me? His answer was a kiss, low, deep, and desperate. When they broke apart, he whispered, I'd follow you anywhere. But Sophia shook her head. Wait, I'm done hiding. The return 1 week later, they faced the storm. The press called it the Lockwood-Crawford Alliance, Sophia's billions paired with Ethan's business acumen. Their joint foundation shaking up Chicago's philanthropic world. But behind the headlines, Sophia still woke up at 4 a.m. some nights. Heart pounding, reaching for Ethan just to make sure he was real. The test, 6 months after the wedding scandal. A Chicago Tribune expose dropped. Sophia Lockwood's secret. Did she buy Ethan's love? The article claimed Sophia had funded Ethan's startup years before they met, a lie. But one that spread like wildfire. Ethan stormed into her office, jaw tight. They're saying you manipulated me. Sophia shut her laptop. Do you believe that? He gripped her waist, pulling her close. No, but we're ending this now. That night, Ethan live-streamed a raw, unscripted rebuttal from their kitchen flannel-clad, Sophia's laughter audible in the background as he flipped off the camera. Next conspiracy theory, please. It went viral. The surprise then, the nausea, the dizzy spells. It's a positive test hidden in Sophia's desk, she told Ethan at the bookstore. Placing his hand on her still flat stomach between the stacks of Pride and Prejudice, his choked sob echoed through the quiet aisles. A baby, he whispered, like it was a miracle. It was. The final twist at their gender reveal party, Daniel pulled Sophia aside. I need to confess something. Her breath caught. I recognized. You at the wedding, not just because of the scholarship, he admitted. Your parents. They helped my mom pay our rent once. She kept their photo in our kitchen. Sophia's eyes burned. Her parents' kindness, reverberating through decades. The epilogue, 5 years later, their daughter. Leela turned the foundation's gala into a finger-painting exhibit. Olivia and Daniel named their second child Ethan, a shockingly sincere gesture. Eleanor actually apologized once while drunk on champagne, and Sophia. Oh. She still worked at the bookstore 2 days a week, still kissed Ethan in the rain, still marveled at how the quietest choices had led to the loudest, loveliest life, because happiness wasn't in the billions, it was in the after.